Hi everyone, this is OG Star Wars and good morning. How are you guys doing this fine Thursday morning? Well, for me it's morning, but this day, afternoon, whatever it is. The first and very important question I ask you all is what is in your mug? What are you drinking? I have this right here. This I painted in Color Me Mine, a little craft shop that we had. I don't think it's open anymore though. Not because of the social distancing quarantine, but because I think they just went out of business or they are switching locations. So it's showing that I only have one, but then I've been chatting with a couple of you guys already. So hopefully everything's going well. And I shared this on Twitter, so please share again for me. Um, yeah, so again, share with me what you are drinking this morning and what do you have. I have a cat right here. I'm in my yoga studio. I've been doing my live streams and everything in my yoga studio lately, and she's gonna knock my laptop over. So if you see like the images of a ceiling here, it's because of my cat. Woo, she needs to get out of the way. She thinks that because I'm on the floor with her, hi, that I am all hers now and that she can just crawl all over me and just demand my attention because I'm not paying attention to her. You know how cats are. So let's see. I was chatting with Becky and Matthew earlier before we started here in the chats. And good morning, Soul Assassin, and good morning to everyone else that's tuning in. So share with me what is in your mug, and we will begin our Star Wars chat, our coffee chat here. So um, I've been finding Twitter a bit interesting within the last 24 or 48 hours, I guess you could say. I got hit with a um, private message saying that I'm racist. So if you guys haven't seen that, that's kind of funny. I have no how that conspired. Um, Hi Ivan, how you doing? And then I commented on Steven's reimagined character of Avar Chris, and because someone was basically upset that men are just seeking to sexualize women for their own needs, I guess, to say it in short. And I commented on that, and basically, someone from I think Brazil or somewhere didn't like it. Basically said I'm a gringo and I'm a man and that I need to shut the fuck up. So that was interesting. So let's see what's going on here. Good morning. Good morning. 8 people coming in. How are you guys doing? So that's been my thing on Twitter. And because I'm a woman and I am Native American Filipino, and then I have a little bit of French and Spanish blood in me. Um, because I feel as an artist, it's women, even if you share the full figure of a woman for comics or whatever, I have no problem with it. I don't. I think women are gorgeous in their whole form, their figures, and stuff like that. So, and as an artist, I get it, so I guess I triggered people. Oh well, that's their problem, not mine. I can live in their head rent free. That's okay. All right, so that's my little rant there. So I hope you guys are all doing well here. I was going to share the article with Ahmed Best. Yes, I am making friends everywhere. I'm just such a social butterfly, and everybody loves me. I understand I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that people are not going to actually like what I have to say or maybe not agree. Especially when it comes to Star Wars, because we are so split in what we like with Star Wars. And I predominantly stay in the George Lucas era of Star Wars. That's including the EU, the novels, the games and all that, and the 6 movies. The TV shows like Tartakovsky's, and I'm probably saying his name wrong. Clone Wars, all that. So yeah, so I know I'm not gonna, be everybody's cup of tea, or even my statement's not going to be someone's cup of tea, and that's okay. That is perfectly fine. We could be adults about it. We could have a discussion or a debate about it. And then if we don't come to an agreement, that we can just agree to disagree. And these days, people just want to just have a way to bitch and complain and call you names and that they're right and you're wrong kind of mentality. And it goes into, activism. If you want to call some of it activism, it goes into that as well. So yeah, it's very different seeing the yellow background in behind me. So yes, a gringo and a man. Hi, Kik, how you doing? OG Star Wars, if I ever come over, can you make a homemade egg rolls? I don't do egg rolls, but lumpia. I was my auntie taught me how to make it. I have to have it's been many years since I made it, but I would love to do some lumpia. Racists like to call other people racist. Yeah, pretty much. Hi, Mr. Dystopian. How are you doing? I just had my little tiny rant about people not liking my stance on, basically classic comic book arts. Um, and then also to, being called racist. If you haven't seen that on my Twitter, last night I was left a nice message. They actually bombed me. That was so funny. Um, I was chatting with Stig and I go and check. I seen that I have a message in, how there's the alternate messages where you're not friends with them. And so you can see it before you approve it and let it go in your regular inbox. So I seen that. I was like, I wonder what's going on here. So I check on it and bam, there it is. And basically I am a racist. I'm a closeted racist. Yeah. Yeah. Even though, my family does consist of, not only Filipino, but also I do, white, Native American, of course. I do have nieces and nephew that are half black, so I don't get this mentality. Let's see here. And we had a good laugh. Me and Stig had a good laugh. And he's like, what the heck is going on here? Kind of thing. So we had a good laugh. Hi, how are you doing? Feels weird not being back in my chair and sitting up and sitting in easy pose or cross-legged pose and trying to keep my form and not slouching down. It feels different. Let's see. To be more accurate, it's racist pretending they aren't racist and calling people who disagree with their terrible opinions racist. Yeah, that's a good point. There are idiots complaining about the redesigning of Avar Chris, calling it over sexualization. Yes, and that's the thing is that I'm gonna piss these women off. I think I'm gonna place one of my professional belly dance photos on my profile picture, just to make a point. I mean, I dance belly dance. I do it now just for fun, recreation, exercise, but I used to travel around with the troupe and perform and stuff. And the style was basically Egyptian style, rock sharki. So there's different styles. My cat's over here bumping her head against my stool that I have my laptop on. So it's kind of swaying because she's being a brat. So belly dance, there's different styles of it, different from different origins. So it's not just one origin in the Middle East. There's Turkish, there's Egyptian, there's different. There's even I guess you can say Gwazi. So that's like the Egyptian, not Egypt, Gypsy style. Yeah. Let's see. Characters I like are Jaina Sola, Jason, Anakin, Ben Skywalker, Marjay, Leia. I can't read. Leia Organa Solo, not Disney Leia, and Grandmaster Luke Skywalker. Yeah, I get it, and that's me too. I relatively stay within the original lore. I do pay attention to Disney, Star Wars because I compare and contrast, and so that's part of the platform for this channel is to say, hey, and I do give credit where credit's due if there's something good. And that's been far and in between So there's not much praise I have for it, but hey, I mean, if you like it, if you like Disney Star Wars, more power to you. Also, if you're female and disagree with them, you're actually a man according to them. Yeah, that's what they call me, a man. A man. A man. Man. That sucks. I mean, not to say men suck, I love all you guys. Men complement women, and that's how we are made genetically as a species. And with all this feminist type thing of men are toxic kind of thing, and they shouldn't be looking at women and sexualizing us, we also sexualize men. We look for qualities not only on the outside but on the inside too. and and so so we look for qualities that we are attracted to. If we see a good looking man, we are going to share that picture of that good looking man. And men do the same thing about women too. It's just how it is. Now in real life, if they see the woman and stuff, now how they treat the woman and how a woman treats a man is how they are raised. So if the man was raised right to be respectful, courteous, chivalry, I'm always saying that word wrong, then I have total respect for them. So I mean, just because a man likes a comic book woman and they like the figure, and even a woman liking that figure as well, doesn't mean that they are sexualizing and that they are like want that cartoon. Is they respect and love the female figure. And that's the thing is, love the female figure, love the man's figure, because that's our body. Quit, in a way, in a sense, saying that men sexualize and even women sexualize men is sexist, and it's body shaming. It's another form of body shaming. So that's my rant. And as an artist, I get that it's nicer to see the form of the human. So I just want Legends to continue beyond Crucible. Matt Martin said it would be too difficult for Disney to manage two canons. They can't, yeah. Yeah, he admitted that they can't manage their own canon, so we shouldn't worry about what's canon. So yes, you have a point there. My friend, you have a point, but we are trying, and that's the point I want to get. Let me pull it up. I'm going to share it with you guys here. Whoops. So bear with me, because I didn't even have it ready, because I didn't think about it this morning, even though I thought about it last night. Let's see here. So there is a campaign that I helped contribute to, and I try to get the word out as much as I could remember to. Okay. Let me share this window with you guys. And it's always great to share this, because then I will encourage you guys to share it on your social media as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Here it is. Let me go ahead and so this is from Twin Sons Foundation. So if you haven't followed them yet, please follow. A great foundation. They basically take, give books to kids like in hospitals and stuff. They have this fundraiser going on where they help support kids in hospitals and kids, in that are, I wouldn't say needy, but that are in those situations, I guess, and even go to book clubs and stuff like that. And they've been invited to the conventions and stuff as well. But this is a Legends Foundation, Twin Sons Foundation. If you haven't figured out Twin Sons, we couldn't know quarantine would have interfered with our plans. So let's get the message out to those trapped at home and share. So here's the billboards. I helped contribute and donate to get these boards up. And I tried to, as much as I could remember, share on all my social media platforms. And I've also shared on my YouTube channels and Coffee Chat before as well, in my recent lore video. And so we have 2 billboards up, and they're within a certain percentage mile radius from Lucasfilm headquarters in San Francisco. You could see them off from the freeway. So if you're going to the headquarters, they're on the main highways that go over there, or the main roads that go over there. So we couldn't buy new legend stores, so we bought these billboards instead, two timelines, the old alongside the new. You can bring balance to the fans. So that's one. And the other one right here is please continue the legend stories. And so at least getting that message out to them that we would love to have legends alongside the Disney Star Wars lore and continue that in general. Will basically, possibly, and hopefully bridge that gap, and I wouldn't say mend the split, but at least there would be two timelines and we would all be happy with what we are getting with Star Wars. So I am totally behind that, and I see that I have more chats and stuff. I'm going to scroll down, and then we're going to get into the next little article I wanted to go over. So Becky Brownhand, there is nothing wrong with the belly dancing. I find it beautiful. I can't dance, and I like hula dancing. Yeah, hula, Polynesian with belly dance. There's a lot of similarities, and it's all beautiful. Hi, how are you doing? Good morning. Greetings, all. How are you doing? Let me see here. Oh, you love Star Killer? Awesome. Women need to compliments. It's genetics. Yeah, and men do need compliments, but compliments towards men is really different than women. But then again, we are two different genders. Yes, I'm gonna say it. There's two genders. Sorry, there is, but yeah. But yeah, we like compliments. We don't mind chivalry. Let me take a sip of coffee and think about that one. Soul Assassin. Make sure to hit that like button. Yes, thank you, darling. And share. Let's get people on here. It's, no one's hardly working, which I find sad, but we understand the circumstances. So, if people are up, people now have a chance to sleep in. I've been sleeping in. I've been bad about that. It's basic biology, correct. And, I have an uncle who is gay, and he'll even say there's two gender. So Juno Eclipse was my favorite from Force Unleashed. Starkiller is cool too. Yes. It's how humans race survived. If men and women don't find each other attractive and go for those they do, we as a species would be extinct. Yeah. And it's like I said, I have an uncle that's gay. In my culture, we don't see, and I respect other cultures and beliefs that have a different view than my culture. I'm not going to say, oh, because you don't believe this, I hate you kind of deal. I'm not that kind of person, even though someone thinks I'm racist and all this, But yeah, my culture, and I was raised by a Lakota Sioux, my grandmother, and she's Lakota Sioux. And so we believe that, and it was not common for people to be gay, I guess you could say, back in the old times. So that's why we believe that they were sacred, and that there were certain things that they did in ceremonies and stuff. And that's just the best way I can explain it, but like I said, I know how it is to be told that my spirituality and my beliefs are insignificant. So I will never tell you yours is, even if you don't believe in people being gay, I guess you could say. That's all yours. Just as long as you don't come at me and start raising hell, I am very respectful towards you as well. And I think that's just in general with everybody, but we're not trying to chat about all this. We're going to chat about Star Wars. So let's get off that topic now. Okay. Matthew, to me, Star Killer actually helped form the Rebel Alliance. And the one that really, this emblem and stuff, I do miss LucasArts and their Star Wars games. I grew up mostly with the video games. Yeah, we have a lot of gamers that grew up with the video game lore, which, if the books was published from the book or from the games, then the books are basically canon, are, authentic to the storyline. But the games were like, what if scenarios, what you played and how you played it may not have happened in the actual timeline. So yeah, so I respect that, because they tied the games to their books and they had some validity to them when it came to the storyline. So yeah, that where are her organs thing also shows just how many people don't pay attention in basic human biology and anatomy classes. Yeah. I would love for legacy comics to continue and bring back the original writers and artists. They could even do it at Marvel if Disney just stayed out of the way. And yeah, that's the thing. That's what this campaign is all about. Because we did have with Comic 108. So, and that was a huge, huge, huge hit. When that comic came out, it outsold the Disney Star Wars comics, because everybody wants the original lore to continue. No matter if you were on Love Disney, the original lore basically was was what Star Wars was, made off the foundation of the movies. All right, the worst of all worlds would be the story group running Legends. Check this funny Twitter meme posted by the real. Okay, I will. I'll check it out. And the thing is, if they did this, then I would love for the original authors to continue those stories. And I know Leland Shee is still with Disney and with Star Wars. So I would love to have him at least oversee that part, since he was the one that helped maintain the continuity as well in the original lore. So I mean, so they have that, but not have the rest of the story group get in it. No, no, I get it. Hi, Teresa. How are you doing, darling? Let's see. It skipped. Oh, there's all kinds of you guys, and I'm trying to go through here. Hey, OG. Hi, Jamie. How are you doing? Oh, just have dinner. Yeah. Thank you for coming in. It's a little after almost 9:30 a.m. here where I live at. So I'm sipping on my coffee. So those who are coming in, if it's morning for you or late morning or whatever, what is in your mug? And if we're beyond that, what is in your cup? What are you drinking? What are you joining me with in your cup? More dark forces. I always wondered if Kyle Katarn married Jan Ors. No. In fact, when Luke Skywalker recreates the new Jedi Order, he joins the Jedi Order. So, yeah. So I encourage you to pick up the books. Pick up the books. And if you need help on where to start, where to begin, I can help you. There's many other in the greater community, like Ryan. We have Matt Wilkins on YouTube. We have even the twin sons that I showed you. Go visit them. They help you as well on where to get started, on where you want to begin at. So if you want post Return of the Jedi, there's a great starting point there to get you hooked. They won't do it because the majority of the Star Wars fans base would go with the canon that has the gender neutral forces opposed to the gender forced ones. It shows Vader, Luke, etc., telling Rey you're on the. Oh yeah, I seen that one, and I actually took it and saved it on my phone, and I was gonna post it separately. I don't know if I retweeted it though, but yeah, that's funny. And I wanted to add the rest of the Skywalkers from the original lore to that, so that's why I saved it. So you might see an edit with that one coming soon. It was never explicit to Del Rey novels. I just assumed they were. Okay, hold on. I'll get back to you. The SJWs of today act no different than the Puritans of the 90s. And you know what? I don't maybe because I wouldn't say I was in my own little world, but I had a lot going on and didn't pay attention to that. I don't know. But yeah, you have a point there. But I don't think it was as serious. Good morning, Abu Nas. Good afternoon from your number one fan. Can't tell you how much I love seeing your coffee chat. And for the record, ain't nothing racist about you, only that you're awesome. And I don't know if you missed it from the beginning. Basically, I have a couple of foreign women who hate me because I like what Steven did with recreating Avar Chris. And I stated that I don't think there's nothing wrong with a woman being our woman's figure being shown. And myself as a woman, I don't see anything wrong with that. And so yeah, so that triggered those two women, and so they're cussing me out in their language. And basically, I think it's Portuguese, Brazil, Portuguese, yeah. Oh yeah, I still have to begin Couture. I have downloaded on this computer here, and I didn't get a mouse or controller to sync with this, and so I haven't played it yet. But it's on standby. I can't wait to start it. I just haven't started it, and now I need to order it because I can't pick it up because everything's closed. All right. The light side, the light side endings were always true canon. Oh wow, I got to catch up with all you guys, and then we're gonna get to the Ahmed best. I didn't look to see if there's any more updated Star Wars news for today from yesterday. But I thought this Ahmed best one was awesome, and so I'm going to share that, and we'll get to that in a couple minutes. I just wanted to take a chance to sit down and really read through it and engage with you guys in chat. Since last week, I had a full panel and we discussed the Skywalker family tree in Legends, which was amazing. If you guys haven't seen that one yet, I'll post the link above. Check it out. We just discussed almost every single Skywalker. We didn't get to the legacies and Alana Solo. But we did discuss the main ones all the way up to Ben Skywalker and them, up to the grandchildren of Vader. I know, sorry, subhuman. I guess that's what's happening. It's give or take. There's some people I get a notification. There's some I don't. So I try to post it on Twitter for you guys as well. So if you guys want to get this out on Twitter, that would be greatly appreciated. I'd love it. All right. Super Star Wars was hard as hell. And see, I loved gaming. In fact, I was a big fan of Nintendo. I got it when it first got out. My father saved up money and got it for me. So I was a big Super Mario's fan. Yeah. And also I played other games, but I really was into the Mario's Brothers and Mario's Kart and all that. And so, yeah. Okay, I jumped again. I hate to skip all these. Yes, when you see the original Luke, it just feels so much better. It feels like a weight lifts off because, it's what was intended by the creator Luke to be. And in Legends, even when he is exiled, yes, he goes into exile. He does. It's still him. It's still who he is, and that's the thing that Disney Lucasfilm didn't quite get, but they didn't want to continue the Luke Skywalker story. They didn't want Luke as a part of their story. So I see that he was kind of shoehorned in because that brought in people. They made their character Rey as a Luke, and that's it. She even foreshadowed or overshadowed the Skywalker, the only grandchild of the Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker. And he could have been an interesting story, but he wasn't. And that's just sad. Hi, how are you doing, Grandmaster Chris? Okay. I agree. Leland Chi, not Hidalgo, should run Legends. Yeah. So if they bring it back, I would love for Leland Chi to oversee and maybe even bring back Sue Ristoni. But she was also part of licensing, so I don't know how that would work. But she also was the one that helped maintain and create what was called the Bible and now the Holocron. Of Star Wars. So a protein shake, nice. I'm drinking a Scottish variant of Irish coffee. That sounds really good, really nice. Enjoy, my friend, and cheers to you. I'm on the other side of the world in the Netherlands. Hi, thank you for coming in. I am in good old California in the United States. Even the new Disney comics have made Luke Jake after Empire Strikes Back. Just stopped reading them. Yeah, that's what I heard, and I haven't really investigated that yet. Um, I still, and it's been a long time since I posted the first video, but I still got to finish my Luke Skywalker tribute videos, and I was going to do just one long video, but because there's so much of Luke after post Return of the Jedi that I was I'm breaking it down per little tiny eras within the timeline, and I also wanted to compare and contrast them to the Disney one, so I haven't had a chance to really sit down. There's a lot of things I still have in production. I apologize. The original Avar drawing didn't even look like a woman. No. Oh, really? Haha, damn, the hate is real. I'm going to have to check it out. Yeah, it's posted. Abu, it's posted. And it was quite funny. I was like, what the heck? Someone's cussing me out in their language. And I'm a gringo. I'm a man. And I'm a gringo, according to them. Even though my picture shows me in a Native American style dress with a fan, my hair long, everything. Yeah. But maybe they don't want to see me as a woman because I have my own opinion about that comic art and the reimagining of Avar Chris because it doesn't fit their narrative. They poor ladies. I feel so sorry for them. Honestly, I do. I mean, it is what it is. God forbid a woman is confident enough to show her contours. Really? Yes. And what's funny is Brazil has basically when you see Brazilian women, they are so confident in their bodies. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, wow. I have a lot going on here. Hello. Hi, lovely. How are you doing? It looked like that gender listing that in the last Terminator flop. And I didn't watch that. I stayed away from that. Callista was an almost Skywalker. I never really cared for the character. I always liked Mara. Yeah, and the thing is that everybody's gonna love Mara because basically she's an awesome woman, and that's his wife. And I get the arcs that they give Luke with love interest or interest along the way. It puts some realism to the character, in Star Wars. So, but I get not liking her. I get it. Hi, hey OG Star Wars. Hope you are well. I got something planned for my versus stream in May that I could use your lore expertise and Ryan Kennel's EU knowledge. If you both are interested, let me know. All right, just DM me the information and when you're going to plan it so I can make sure I'm free for that. And we shall collaborate. Thank you. I still haven't gotten Droid Works to work on my PC. What platform did you download it? Because your PC, is it Windows or is it Mac? Because when I downloaded Couture, I couldn't download it on my Mac. So I had to download on my art computer, which I was kind of hesitant because the laptop that I'm using for live stream and stuff, I also use for my digital art. And it's strictly supposed to be for digital art. So I was kind of hesitant. So depending on what type of Windows you are using or program you're using will determine if it's going to work or not. How are you doing, Mads? Yes. I'm so happy she's here. I hope Lucasfilm sees all those billboards. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there's still people going to the office because they still have some productions to do, some stuff to do behind the scene. Um, Honestly, racists have thrown around so much it's lost all meaning. Yeah. Haha, best looking man I've ever seen, cursing you out on the Portuguese. Damn, those guys mean business. Oh my god. I got the racist DM. Basically, I got DM'd that I'm a closeted racist and they blocked me, vamoosed out. And then this morning I woke up to that because I have an opinion about a piece of artwork that I agree I like her form better than the original form as a woman. And so there should be some validity to that, right? And as an artist too, it's a more attractive, it's more eye appealing. When you read comics, you're not reading them, just reading them. You're also reading with your eyes. You're enjoying the artwork in there. And if it's a shitty artwork comic style stuff, you're not going to like it. You're not going to be attracted to it. And when we cook, even as chefs, if we get into that profession or even at home or whatever, we eat with our eyes first. That's just how it is. We are a very visual type beings, species, whatever, humans. So we consume with our eyes first. And so if it's not appealing to us visually, we may not get into it. Oh damn, I jumped again. Oh, you guys are just hopping today. I'm loving it. We'll get to that article, I promise. And I just lost my space. Oh, that sucks. Let's see here. Oh, there. Okay. I know where I'm at now. There we go. A woman who thinks a woman should look like a woman. Shocking. I know, right? Yeah. And where is it at? I don't have it here. But I didn't draw her whole form, but I usually do Sunday sketches in my Sundays in my sketchbook. So every Sunday, and I didn't do it this last Sunday. So I did it last or yesterday. And so I sketched a Native American woman in my sketchbook. But I didn't do her whole entire body. So it was just shoulders down and with some geometric design in there. And I when I draw like Native women, even if they're in their regalia or their buckskin dresses or whatever, I'm still gonna give them some form, even as much as I can, considering their garb. And when you see Jedi, like I shared Jaina Solo, and she's in her traditional Jedi robes and stuff, you still see her form. You still see that she's a woman. So I'm still at the beginning of New Jedi Order, and I'm still hoping for Sword of the Jedi. I know that would be amazing, right? Yes. Becky Brown. Not only that, the updated one actually looks like a woman. Yeah, and I think that's it's appealing for me too. It's appealing, and yeah. So that was. I'm not shocked at it. It was just funny that they had to do that. All right. Let's see here. Haha, Ivan, I feel like I'm in great company, brother. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the Ivan Best article. Ivan Ahmad. That's because I just got done reading Ivan. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, it's in Chrome. I'm like, where the hell? What did I do with it? But it's in Chrome. All right. That's not it. There we go. Let me read these last two and we'll get to it. Luke being so afraid of his own bloodline as he was in the Disney trilogy is not how I see Luke. Watch Return of the Jedi tells me he was resolute. He was never afraid of his own bloodline. He actually wanted a family. He was actually excited to have a sister and all that. And so seeing him dismiss them and not be there for them in the new lore, it's not appealing, I guess you could say. All right, so let's check this out. So this is from yesterday, and like I said, I didn't check to update if there's any current Star Wars news as of today, and I'm not too worried about it. The reason why I'm showing this is because it also refers to the original movies and original actor during George Lucas's time. So Jar Jar actor says Phantom Menace achieves Lucas's vision better than Disney sequels. And I love Phantom Menace. I love the pod racing. I just love how it sets up the whole timeline. Every little piece is basically the catalyst to what we see come after. So I love that. And like I said, I love continuity, and it has great continuity. Jar Jar Binks actor Ahmed Best believes Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, properly achieves George Lucas's vision because it was a kid movie. So that's a gorgeous picture of the Phantom Menace right there. Jar Jar Binks actor Ahmed Best believes Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, achieves creator George Lucas' original vision better than Disney films. Star Wars has proven to be one of the most heavily debated franchise of all times. Yeah, that's kind of just, yeah, it is. Largely due to its passionate fan base. Well, I'm glad they use passionate fan base and not toxic. And the vastly different trilogies at its center. There's only one different trilogy. The six original are basically so coherent with each other that it's just one seamless storyline. So I gotta correct you on that. Let me see. I didn't say who was responsible for this article. Rachel Labont. Okay. So Miss Labont. Largely due to its passionate fan base and the vastly different trilogies. Oh, we already read that at its center. While the original film that ran from 1977 to 1983 are considered classics and remain among the most beloved, the ones that followed have earned far more criticism. Oh, we're going to go down that road. All right. Their prequel trilogy, which started with the Phantom Menace in 1999, became the frequent resource of jokes and fan ear. I liked it. I always did, and people around me that I knew at the time loved the Phantom Menace as well. So, yeah. Disney purchased Lucasfilm and thus gained the rights to the galaxy far, far away. Yes, and that's when our morning began. Disney announced its intentions to continue the Skywalker saga with a new trilogy plus several spin-off films. The sequel trilogy started off well enough in 2015's The Force Awakens. Sorry, I have to disagree, and some of you guys may still like The Force Awakens for what it's been. It's a soft reboot. Yeah, there was potential. There was. I admit, like I said, I will admit where there. I'll give credit where credit's due. In a sense, there was potential, but it's the catalyst of what comes that came after. But the latter two installments proved to be incredibly polarized among both fans and critics. The final film, The Rise of Skywalker, sparked numerous debates over various story decisions, from the ending of Rey's story to the inexplicable return of the Emperor Palpatine. This has led to fans wondering if the prequels are actually better than the sequels. They are hands down 100 times better. No debate on that with me. Why? Because they kept continuity. Best knows all too well how intense Star Wars fans can get, thanks to his time as the heavily disliked Jar Jar. Okay, he even stated that it was the media. Let's not go there. Let's not do this. It was the media that really scrutinized his character, that created this bashing of his character. They are responsible. And now he is weighing in on the prequels versus the sequels debate during an interview with Jamie Stanroom. Best offered his take on why the prequels and the Phantom Menace specifically actually represents Lucas's true aim for Star Wars better than what Disney has done. In the end, all comes down to the kids best explains. It's very much for the millennials and Gen Xers like myself. So kids are kind of left out of these. And the kids have to go to the animated series in order to get their dose of Star Wars, do like or they do like Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is very much a kids movie. Well, yeah, kids. It's all ages. It's all ages. The new iterations of Star Wars are not really skewed towards kids, which is not something that George ever really wanted to do. George was always about the kids, and he used to say that if you get the kids, you have fans for next 20 years. Brilliant. Yes. Hands down, he's right. He was very much about kids. This idea that the movies were for adults is a very new thing, to be honest. The movies were for all ages. So yeah, best actually has a thing here, and George basically wanted a market for all ages, knowing that if he gets in the younger ones as well, he will have a fan base to continue and to keep the franchise alive. During the same interview, Best denied the rumors that he would be appearing in Disney's Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi series, saying that he thinks Jar Jar is something Lucasfilm are trying to move away from. However, though Best has put some distance between him and the franchise, he will be hosting the game show Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge for the streamer, which is expected to arrive sometime this year. With all the furor that comes with Star Wars, it's easy to forget that the first and foremost, they're fun sci-fi films. Actually, they're fantasy sci-fi, so they're fantasy. It's not basically sci-fi. The franchise has always been iconic, and it would have remained that way even if Disney hadn't revived it. Disney necessarily didn't revive it, but they brought back movies and got fans were excited about the movies. The hardcore fans like myself kept the franchise going with the original EU, and in a sense, they kind of killed that. So I wouldn't say revived. I think they squashed a lot of stories that didn't necessarily need to be squashed. So I wouldn't say revive. However, now that the studio has Star Wars has taken on a legendary quality in modern pop culture, the legendary quality has almost eroded what Lucas' real intention for the franchise was. Best made a good point when he said Lucas was more focused on how kids responded to the films than when he made the Phantom Menace. Maybe Disney should try to remember going forward. So what say you in my chat? Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay. Really, every time I try taking a break, someone pulls that false racism nonsense. They're like, Bads is not in here. Let's go ahead and tag one of her friends. Yes, you should go check it out. And I got cussed out by a couple of Brazilians too. in Portuguese. Ivan and Abu Hanas double trouble toxic men. Okay. I like Phantom Menace. Yeah, I've even come to like Attack of the Clones. I always liked the Phantom Menace, and when the book Darth Plagueis book came out, I loved it more. Yes, that's a very good one too. I just watched Attack of the Clones and I liked it better than I did in 2002. And what we're seeing is that George's movies are aging much better. It was the media that mostly criticized the prequels while everybody else liked them. Yeah. And then those who, think media is correct all the damn time, like we're seeing today as well, instead of going in it and questioning and doing their own research, will even think, okay, well, since they said the prequels are bad, then they must be bad, kind of deal. And it's just common. People do that all the time. It doesn't matter what era we are in. At least the original EU contained stories not like Disney and their explained universe. True. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Darth Sidious is the Phantom Menace, but after reading Darth Plagueis, in my honest opinion, Plagueis is the Phantom Menace. He was the catalyst. He was a catalyst to it. Darth Plagueis didn't see his death coming whatsoever, so that was very interesting. So that's how I seen that. But I love your point of view, and I love your take on that as well, because that can be taken as another thing too. I like some of the details. Deleted scene. I wish the scene with the Padme creating the rebellion had not been cut from Revenge of the Sith. Yes, when she secretly meets with Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and a few of them, and they talk about, you know, doing the, what was it called again? Well, basically Rebel Alliance, but it was another thing. But they got that that signature, 200 signature form out too as well, trying to get Palpatine out. I like the prequels, and it helped expanding the lore. Yes, it did. Very good continuity wise, but I understand why some scenes work better in a novelization and slow down the pace of the movie. Yes, and so if you guys have not read the novelizations to the movies, pick them up. Pick them up. They are great, because there's always so much story a movie can tell, and try to be consistent and coherent with overall lore. So the books can expand more on the details per scene and what's really going on. Yeah. The author seems to think fantasy intensity is a bad thing. Sounds like more excuses for failed films. For a franchise to succeed, you need people to want merchandise. Exactly. Whoop, I jumped. Here we go. I'm scooting along here. Have patience with me, guys. I'm going to take a sip. Isn't this cute? All right. I first saw The Phantom Menace at the cinema as a kid. Facts. It takes a legend like Ahmed Best to set the record straight. Yes, he did. He set it straight, not only with his character Jar Jar Binks, and you know what? I never really had a problem. I thought that every movie in some way, shape, or form has to have some sort of comic relief, some sort of balance. He never annoyed me, I guess you could say. It is what it is. That was just who he was. And I understood why, he was banned from his own tribe of people. What's the opposite of revived? Murdered, perhaps? Yeah. Yeah. The problem is that I was trying to come up with I didn't want to say murdered, but yeah. The problem is that current Disney has next to no creative people in the movie animation departments, and none of them understand how to make movie stories for all ages. And that's the thing. So, we have that. I don't know what you're crying about. George intended the movies and blah, blah, blah to be for kids, blah, blah, blah. Well, the thing is, yes, he did, but he also intended to be for all ages. One of the quotes that I shared a while back was basically, he said, and this is just paraphrasing, he basically created it for the ages 17 to 77. And I'm not going to try to say the rest of the quote, but basically that's what he stated inside that quote. It expands on a little bit more, but he basically wanted older people who still have the kid at heart to love it alongside the kids and the teenagers and stuff. I was 6 years old when I first watched A New Hope. My parents had it on VHS. Oh, the lovely VHSs. Yes, I still have a VHS player. We did have the VHS movies when I was growing up, and I seen Empire Strikes Back in the movie theater or the drive-in theater, but we popped in the VHS of A New Hope before we went and watched that, just to catch up on the storyline. Greetings, everyone. Hi, Alfres. How are you doing? And what is in your mug today? Or what are you drinking, sipping on? Rogue One and Mandalorian would be the only Mouse Wars stuff I accept. Fair enough. Ahmad Best spilled the beans years ago on Twitter. The original purpose was and reincarnated Sith Lord of Jar Jar, but they changed up to appeal to the kids. And that's where the Darth Jar Jar comes from, right? The prequels were amazing fun. Yes, they were. And like I said, the in the Phantom Menace, I love the pod racing because it gave us a sense of Anakin's innate force sensibility, and also it gave us a storyline and how Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Padme and all them got the ship repaired, and how Anakin was set free and why his mother wasn't set free. I don't think the Disney trilogy is made for Gen X. I am a Gen X and I hate Disney Star Wars. I hate what they did to Han, Luke, and Leia, and Lando, Chewbacca, R2, and 3PO. Basically, the original characters. Thanks to the stream, you and the chat have a good day night. Okay. Are you leaving? If you are, have a good one. Thank you for dropping in. I appreciate you coming in and supporting the channel. For us, I thought it was nice how all the subtle manipulates were shown in were shown in the prequels. The tax money in the first film being used for the clone army, all the dominoes being set up by Palpatine. Yes, it shows his brilliance. It shows how calculating he is. Let me take a sip. It shows how calculating and manipulating he is and how smart he is. Delegation of the 2000. There you go. Thank you. I was like, I could not think it was like 2000 signatures. I know that as well. I just could not think of the name because it's been a while since I talked about that. Oh yeah, Rebel wasn't that bad either. Oh yeah, I grew up with my dad watching all 6 films. I still remember NBC showing the original trilogy from Saturday to Monday. Matthew, got it. It's obviously that Jar Jar was weak-minded and Sidious Palpatine used a mind trick on him in the Senate to give himself emergency powers. And that's the thing. It's like Jar Jar even was used as a tool to get Padme out and him in so he could be manipulated. Excuse me. Wow. Sounding quite mannish right now, huh? Sorry, I have to joke around about this BS that's been going on Twitter. Yeah, so because they couldn't mind trick Padme, her mind was too strong for that. So that's a good point right there. That's a good observation. The original films was not for kids. It was, but it wasn't. It was for all ages. So that gave George Lucas a leeway to have some gore, I guess you could say. Because I watched it when I was very young. Very, very young. It's because they are targeted the younger half of the millennials and only the younger half of the millennials, Matthew. The kids things don't fly with me. That implies kids media is allowed to be bad. For George, no. Kids are very intelligent. And so, yeah, so I get what you're saying as well. When people say, oh, it's made for kids, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to say that the kids don't have the intelligence enough to understand what's going on. So that argument that people use against people like me and you, and I think is moot. Because they are basically, if they have kids themselves, they're tearing down their kids' intelligence by saying that. So that's all I have to say about that. They forget that the 1313 game was going to be rated M. It wasn't going to be kid friendly. Yeah, and there's going to be things in Star Wars franchise, as if you look back, there is, that are more for more mature audiences versus for children, because they still had the children's books as well. And adults still have that. In fact, I think people are collecting those books now, if they can find them, the children's novels, to put them part of their collection just to have. But they did have the children's novels on top of the regular novels, and they all tied in really well together. So some adults will pick up the children's novels and read it as well. In fact, The Life and Legends of Obi-Wan Kenobi was basically, I wouldn't say a child's novel, but maybe teenage, maybe children's, but it's a scholastic novel. So yeah, I'm fine. Thanks. Gray Goose Vodka on the rocks. It's not morning for my time zone. Yeah, and I forget that not all of you guys are in the same time zone as me. So that's why I try to say what's in your cup as well instead of your mug. All right. R2D2 beeping C3PO, what do you mean naked? R2 beeps. Sorry, C3PO, my parts are showing. My goodness. Yeah, yeah, that was funny too. I get what you're saying though. As much as Rogue One is the least offensive the Disney movies, it stole its characters from plots from Dark Forces. Yes, and if Stig was here with us today, he'd be agreeing with you. He's always bringing that up. How Cassian in them are basic knockoffs from Kyle Katarn and Jen Ors. Yeah, so great. Hi, how are you doing? Finally up and around. Good morning. Good morning. So, I imagine since this is your morning, since you're barely getting up, what's in your mug? Grub Knob. Hello. I saw the OT all at the theaters on 35 millimeter as a kid. Wow. By the time the PT came along, I just waited for DVDs and didn't have high unrealistic expectations. Saw TFO on DVD, Last Jedi. Oh, you missed me, Force Awakens, and The Rise of Skywalker, The Rise at Cinema. Okay. Where did I go? Oh, here we go. Subhuman, one man's vision destroyed by a story group with no creative imagination. Or they just want to rewrite it in their own vision, which we could still question, right? I got it. At first, I was like TFO, TFO, and I'm thinking back to EU TFO. No, because yeah. So you had me thinking a little bit there, Grobnob. Sorry, I missed a little OG Star Wars. That's okay. To update you from what I was talking to you about last night, apparently I am to someone who doesn't like my opinion about comic artists reimagining women in the full figure form, that I am mansplaining, I am sexist, and I'm a gringo. So, and they think I'm a man. Yeah, and these two women that are trying to cuss me out in their language are from Brazil. Very interesting morning. He was manipulated, not mind tricked. They were in Chancellor's office with the Jedi. Yeah, yeah, and we haven't seen, and we didn't see the mind trick. So manipulation probably be a better way to look at it. Who knows? We can't put something that isn't there. So, but yeah, he was manipulated. He thought he was doing good right by his planet and right by, the galaxy as well. But again, when it comes down to it, Palpatine was brilliant. Brilliant. The world, they would have sensed that if Sidious used the Force, because they were constantly probing the Force. Yeah, Jedi's can sense lies. So if you know the lore, they can sense if you're lying as well. Most of the time. Is it true Disney dumbed down and censored Clone Wars for Disney Plus to aim to younger kids? I haven't been keeping up with it. In fact, we're going to talk here pretty quick and switch gears and talk Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. I was going to talk a little bit about Kenobi. We'll get to that, but I'll finish up reading these and then we'll go into Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. Where's my book here? Okay. And what I was going to get at, they did take out scenes, and I think they did that to fit their vision. And that's what I'll say about that. I haven't watched it. Once upon a time, Disney made great G-rated films that were all enjoyable today. Current year Disney is a mess. Oof, my sinuses are revolting today. Yeah, mine were doing that last couple of days. It sucks. I have coffee. As usual, Laura, you know me, need coffee. Okay. I make another coffee. Awesome. Make me a cup too. I'm almost out. Okay, let's see here. Bob Iger's Disney acts like a cult. Yeah, the whole Ahsoka arc sucks. I'm just bored and play a game while watching. Oh wow! I like I said I never got into Filoni's Clone Wars. I did watch a little tiny bit, and I will go back if I need to research or whatever. But I've never was into it. Um, no, they didn't. I watched the full series to catch up. They did censor season 7 though. Yeah. Disney even ruined the Muppets. Who does that? That's what I heard. I never watched. Again, I never watched, but that's what I heard. That's that's it's laughable how bad that is. All of Disney Star Wars is dumbed down. All right. Okay, I'll read one more and then we'll get into the Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. So if you follow me on Twitter, I put up a link and it's basically both volumes 1 and 2 of all the chapters of Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. And again, I'm probably saying his name, probably butchering it a little bit. And I'm so used to saying it that way, so it just rolls out that way. So I apologize. So if you haven't watched any of it yet, you didn't have to watch the whole 2 and almost 3 hours of it. It's per chapter, and you could have watched up like for a few chapters. I'm talking about chapter 1 now instead of doing my review. Bob Iger stood down straight after Weinstein's found guilty. He headed Disney when they bought and ran Miramax, Weinstein's company. There's lawsuits against Disney by Weinstein's victim. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's not being exactly said just yet. So, yeah. All right. So Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, basically, it is he is the creator of the samurai cartoon. So you see, basically, in the cartoon series, it has the same type of animation, which George really, really, really loved, and that's why he hired um, Tartakovsky. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful towards that name. Um, and also George and the company got an Emmy for that cartoon series. If you did not know that, so there's a fun fact right there. He got an Emmy for it, even though after the fact he hired Filoni, and basically Filoni's Clone Wars was supposed to focus only on the clone troopers and how they dealt with the Clone Wars, and it turned into what it is now. Okay, and the Clone Wars, Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, was a multimedia project. So in the movie, let me take a sip. I'm still dealing a little bit with drainage now from my sinuses, so this is fun. All right, so in the beginning of the Clone Wars, we do have Yoda's introduction, basically. Basically the Clone Wars have begun, and the Jedi's duties. Basically, we know that Jedi's are the protector of peace and prosperity in the galaxy, and that when that is threatened, they will step up and take responsibility on protecting that peace and stuff. And so that's what the Jedi were doing. They were, even though they approached it in this manner, their intention was to bring peace back and for the Republic. And so that's the beginning of the Clone Wars. We see, the Bacon Clan monolith is now introduced in this, and basically the ones that were funding the Separatists and the Droid army. And so, the mission, was it Obi-Wan and Anakin were sent there for a mission. Anakin, in a meeting, Palpatine basically, to the disapproval of Obi-Wan and Yoda, basically said, we're giving Anakin his own command. And they're like, he's not mature enough. He's not ready. And he's still a Padawan at this point. And so he was unwillfully given um, his own command, and they go and take care of stuff on Monolith with the bankers. And what was very interesting that I seen, that I heard, not seen, was Obi-Wan, Anakin's repairing and doing last minute things around his ship. And you could tell he's very frustrated. And that's what I love about the Clone Wars, Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, is that we still see that frustration with Anakin, his immaturity, all that. He's, taking care around his ship, and Obi-Wan walks up to him and he basically not confronts him, but speaks to him. And Anakin's like, I don't understand why, people don't, I wouldn't say trust me, but they, basically in that sense. And Obi-Wan says this, and I think this goes with the whole line from the Attack of the Clones all the way to Revenge of the Sith. Obi-Wan says, your skills have never been in question. It's your maturity. And I thought, wow, okay. That really explains, why he hasn't been given the rank of Jedi Knight yet. And then when he was given rank of Jedi Knight, and then he was put on council, that explains that as well. He was not mature enough yet to take on those responsibilities. And so I thought that was very interesting because, people are like, oh, well, Anakin was just upset because of the fact that they didn't give him and didn't, make him a master right away, even though he's powerful, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he was upset with that. But he when someone's knighted or even made a master, it's not just only based upon your skill in the Force. It's all based upon your experience and your maturity. And I was in a debate with someone about this when it came to the Solo twins. And they're like, well, Jason, he should have been made a master right away. And so Jaina as well, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, just because they're talented in the Force, which the Skywalkers are, the maturity also plays a huge factor in if they can handle that type of responsibility that new rank gives them. And so this is how I see that in here. So let's go ahead and see what you guys have to say so far. And we're going to go for another 15, 20 minutes, and then I have to get going. Okay. Tartakovsky. Clone Wars is amazing and fits well between episodes 2 and 3. Exactly. No, they didn't. I watched the full series. They did censor. Oh, yeah. Okay, I reread that one. Good. Thank you. Bob Iger stood down. Okay, I read that one too. Okay. Hi, Jefferson. Good morning. Got in late. Have my espresso and ready to enjoy your show. Well, thank you for coming in. Whew, all right. Seems like the trend of the times to use these beloved and storied franchises, Star Wars, Star Trek, etc., as a platform to push their politics and agendas, whether the fandom agrees with it or not. And that's the thing. All right. Let's see here. Matthew, I just watched the show he made with the caveman and dinosaur called Primal. I always thought he was a talented guy, despite thinking he was wasting his time and talent on Hotel Transylvania. Oh, well, that's a great insight. Okay. Is this the two-part thing on DVD? Line art, I have that, the movie, and the first 2 seasons. I got into Rebels more, kind of preferred it for not having too many established characters. So the thing with Tartakovsky's Clone Wars is that, and this was an interesting take I seen. If you pause a cartoon show or any type of show, but I'm just gonna say cartoon show, and you watch it and you don't know what's going on, then their animation is not telling the story. You should be able to tell the story without the words. And I've never got that with Rebels, but with Tartakovsky, from what I've seen with Rebels at least, because I did watch, a few of the episodes and stuff. With Tartakovsky, he does what George does in a sense, where there are moments of silence and action going on, or thought or whatever. You can just watch it and see what's going on and understand. And that's what I love about Tartakovsky's The Clone Wars as well. Tartakovsky's Tartar. Let's see here. Okay. All right. I like Filoni Clone Wars, but not for the changes of the canon. Those aspects I dislike whenever he decided to discard some EU and OT lore. Yeah, and there are some really good episodes, um, despite the EU, it tarnishing the EU. So I give credit for that. I'm just not a big fan of his as well. So we'll leave it at that. Hi, Stig. Say we speak of you and you shall come. How are you doing? All right. Love the Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. They showed the journey of Anakin very well. And that's another thing, too, is that Anakin in that was not knighted right away like Filoni's was, because of his immaturity. And we see him, he's still very immature in Attack of the Clones. So we still need time for him to grow. And it doesn't make any sense for them to knight him right after, right after the Attack of the Clones or shortly after. He is knighted in Tartakovsky's like just months up, leading up to Revenge of the Sith. So I think that's a very good arc with him in growing his maturity. And that goes with the quote I read you, Obi-Wan telling Anakin, skills never been in question, it's your maturity. And so that goes right along with that. He still has a lot of growing to do. How everyone doing, living in the real life and very slow moving George Romero movie. Primal's awesome. I like how they have the beginning of the Battle of Coruscant. Yes. At the end, it leads all the way to that, and you go. They're like, we gotta jump into hyperspace, and now I'm jumping ahead, but way ahead, and they're leaving. And then once they get there, you see the battle above Coruscant, the Battle of Coruscant, going on. I never got why Anakin has a Padawan, but was never a master with Filoni's Clone Wars. He can't be a master though, because if he made him a master, then that's breaking continuity more, because Anakin's has never been a master. Someone spoke about me, so that is why I woke up, because of a nightmare. I spoke of you. I'm not sure it makes sense, Anakin being a master in Filoni's Clone Wars, when it does not fit the prequels, but I just kind of let that slide. He was never a master in there. Even though he was called master because he was responsible for training, he was never, in his rank, he was never a master. When Disney bought Star Wars, I thought they would eventually make an animated film with the same quality of the 90s, like Lion King and Aladdin films, but they seem to only like 3D stuff nowadays. Yeah, that's the trend, I guess. I like they show Ilum and where they were aware. I swear I can read. Let's take a sip. Where the Jedi get their kyber crystals. Yes, exactly. And that's what I was going to get at right now. So we'll go and expand a little bit more. So Mount Calamari is also under attack, and they send Master Kit Fisto. And so that's an awesome scene as well. So we have multiple islands, multiple worlds being focused on within just chapter 1. We have Dooku looking for an apprentice. And so he's watching the battle take place, and he finds Asajj Ventress, and she tries to say she's a Sith, and he's like, you're not a Sith. And he basically shoots her down with force lightning. And when she wakes up, they duel, and she, proves herself. And Sidious comes along and talks with them, and so that's interesting. And so they tell her, if you need to go after the Jedi Anakin Skywalker, and so they send her on that mission. And she believes that once she goes and attacks him and kills him off and stuff, that's her ascension into Sithhood. And reality, he's just using her, Palpatine's using her for his greater scheme. So that's very interesting. Yeah, and then we see a little glimpse again of Anakin basically going dark in that scene when he battles Asajj. So that was very interesting as well. And we have Mace Windu in there, and so we see his abilities, and he uses shatter points. So that's amazing. So I go and, like I said, pick it up. I did share the YouTube link, and it's basically the whole series, all the chapters, and you can watch it all the way through if you want to. And I don't know if there's a break, because I didn't view it in long enough to see if there's a break between each chapter. But if you don't have it, I shared the link, and I'll put it down in my descriptions as well. All right. And then we get to Ilum, and we have Luminara and Ophi, Barriss Ophi there. And Barriss Ophi is basically getting her crystal for her saber. So she's with her master, and she gets to get her crystal, and they, recite the little saying. It's really, really neat to watch. And they are attacked. And later on, we have Yoda sensing it, and he is with Padme. He's with her, protecting her or whatever. And they go to her rescue. They go to the rescue, and so that's very interesting. And so that's what I'm just going to say about that in short. Very fun to watch. If you're into continuity wise, it sticks with the continuity well. Let me go ahead and see where I left off at, and then I will continue to read. Oh, okay. Hi, Mason. Hey, hail OG. I'm late, but I absolutely love the Clone Wars 2003. I had them on disc since I was a kid, and that someone borrowed them in my teen years and never seen them again. I'm so sorry. It's hard to find, but if you find them for cheap, then I would get them. All right, Matthew. So you just have to be a Jedi Knight and not a Jedi Master to have a Padawan? Yes. In fact, when Obi-Wan was granted the right to train Anakin, he was knighted and then granted the right. So yes, but Padawans, if your master is a Jedi Knight, they still call you Master. So yes. So I think even in Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan's still a Jedi Knight, I believe. Could be wrong. Someone tell me in the comments. What's the difference between Sith and Dark Jedi? Is it just whether the Sith code is embraced? Dark Jedi are basically those who turn dark and leave the order, but they don't have any Sith training or anything like that. Sith are basically, they follow the Sith culture. Their eyes can turn yellow, so there's a difference, but they both use the dark side. So, in a sense. Okay. That's all in a nutshell. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Akbar's son is in the Clone Wars with Akbar fighting. The Clone Wars are Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. In Disney comics, they state that Akbar hasn't seen his son since he was an infant. Another plot. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the Clone Wars. Wow. Okay. Like I said, I'm not too adverse with Filoni's The Clone Wars. So thanks for letting me know that. That's something interesting I might have to look into. I guess dig. All right. All right, Jamie Vander Host. Filoni's Clone Wars mature slow. It begins as short news flash like the World War II news in cinemas. From season 2 to 3, they start telling longer stories, thus have more room to explore characters. Filoni's? And with Filoni's, they don't mature Anakin slowly. Mace was a beast in Clone Wars. He was. That was such a great in season or chapter 1. That was awesome. The rule of two is also violated so many times. It's not even funny. Clone Wars created more. No, not really. When we read the Plagueis novel, Plagueis steps away from the rule of two, and so does Sidious or Palpatine. So that's in the original lore. So a lot of the material, and I think even the Filoni's Clone Wars reflects that. Wow, I said something positive. Shit. All right. And it's the first appearance of Grievous and his coolest appearance, really. In Tartakovsky's. Because I think Tartakovsky does his character really, really well. Speaking of shows, I had so hoped Resistance was like Wing Commander Space Above and Beyond X-Wing series set in the Disney sequel. It's not going to be. It won't be. Okay, so I've only watched a couple of Anna's reviews on the Resistance. I never watched the Resistance, but I watched her reviews. Did they even show any of Wedge in them? Let me know. Back when he was doing Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, that was when Gandhi did Clone Wars. And George loved that animation. If Lucas' trilogy idea based on the Wills and microscopic life had been used, would it have been a metaphor for the COVID virus? No, because the metachlorians helped the force, you obtain the force within your bodies and stuff. So it was life-giving, I guess you could say. Or you can use a life-giving force. So I wouldn't say it was. Kenobi was a knight in Attack of the Clone. Yeah, okay, I thought so. Thank you. I wasn't too sure, but I remembered, and I was correct. Come on, a live-action X-Wing series, is that so much to ask? That would be amazing. I love the X-Wing series. That would be great. Dark Jedi is just a fallen Jedi. Exactly. Sith special training way beyond that. Exactly. And it's, they train from the Sith lore, all that. Yeah, so... Okay, Yoda is a master. Yeah, he is. And what's interesting is that, speaking of Yoda and then the High Republic, so Yoda was alive during that time, so he's between 600 and 700 standard years. And during that time, if you look into the lore, he was said to have been a master, not grandmaster yet. And what I'm getting at, since we're talking about Yoda, is that Yoda has only been grandmaster for a very short amount of time. We have Mace Windu, who was grandmaster until he handed that down to Yoda because he felt he couldn't be held, or he couldn't hold that prestigious title and responsibilities during the Clone Wars. An X-Wing show won't make sense in Disney. They have ruined space battles and hyper travel. Yes. Rogue Squadron does not even exist in Disney. No. And the original creators, like the two creators of Rogue Squadron, was Wedge and Luke. And so that would be putting Luke in a positive light. So it's not going to exist. I watched one episode of Resistance that was disappointment enough. Sorry. I hope that, if you love Disney and that you find something you like and it makes you happy. I assume Poe was leading Rogue Squadron, but it was never mentioned. Why would Poe lead Rogue Squadron? Wedge in Disney canon retired due to injury shortly after episode 6. He became a flight instructor. White man bad, yet he can still fly in episode 9. Okay, so if he didn't had an injury, how come he didn't go into Bacta? Bacta heals the body significantly well. And if it was an organ injury, they could have cloned a new organ for them because that's in the lore. Also, like Trusat Bakura, Wedge does, and this is right after episode 6, mind you, compare and contrasting, that's what I'm doing. He sustains an injury to his hand because a messenger ship comes sending a message, and it has this, it has like a booby trap, and Wedge is trying to not have it activated. And so he puts his hand in between the crystals. If the crystals collide, it explodes. And so Luke goes out there and helps him. And so he has an injury sustained to his hand, yet he still heals from it. They take care of him, and then he's piloting again. So that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense when you have Bacta to heal, especially when you see Finn, get put into a Bacta suit. That's what I'm guessing that's what that is, and cured or healed from that, from the lightsaber up the spine. All right. I second Wedges in episode 9. I'm surprised Lawson agreed to the return. I think it was just some pay. I think it was pay and just excitement of returning back to Star Wars as a pilot. Wedge is not in the Falcon in episode 9. Who said he wasn't out in the Falcon? Was Wedge in the gunner seat? No, I thought, okay, you guys are going to have to refresh me on that. Leia said he was her best pilot, Poe, I mean. Then in the next movie, she's slapping him and on demoting him. Nothing they did made sense. No, it didn't. So far, Disney pleasantly surprised only me with The Mandalorians, only you. And I still have some issues with that show, and Ahsoka novel was nice. Okay, so I never expand on the Ahsoka novel. I probably won't ever. But Mandalorian, it's nice for what it is. Yeah, and I agree. So that's where I give some credit. Matthew got it. Rian Johnson is better, bitter, nasty vandal. He just went all out on to ruin everything he could. I think him and JJ played tug of war with the lore. There was no direction, which basically Kathleen Kennedy said they didn't have no plan for the sequel trilogy. And so that's why we end up with this inconsistency. It could have been a lot better. In episode 9, Poe became Han, and even down to having his backstory. Kind of, because Wedge, I see them Poe as a remake of Wedge. Why? Because Wedge even was in the scoundrel business as well. He was raised by Mr. Merrick. Shit, I'm just like brain farting on all these names. Merrick's father, basically. And yes, Orange Hat, if you can tell me the name, or Stig, I forget his name, but his last name is Merrick. Oh, God damn it. I swear to God, I'm having some brain farts here. Just letting you know I'm still here listening, going through my vapor steam treatment right now. Love the show. Thank you. I hope all is well. Can you imagine if Karen Travis wrote The Mandalorian would have been interested? Oh my God. I would love it so much, because she's the one that created the Mandalorians, their language, their culture. That would have been amazing. He was the catalyst to everything. Stig, I agree. Didn't George Lucas tell KK not to kill Luke? I don't have a direct quote, but if you look at George's history with the EU after the movies and the novels were all purely coming out, and even between the OT and PT, George did not want Luke killed. He didn't want him killed. Hey, how you doing? All right, Poe was Spice Runner. That's Han's backstory. No, there's a lot of Spice Runners in the lore. Just like Mr. Tarek. What the hell is his name? Booster Tarek. There we go. Booster Tarek. So, even Booster Tarek, he was a smuggler as well. So, I mean, no, I think Poe, and I think we'll just have to agree to disagree, and I respect that. But I seen Poe as a knockoff of Wedge Antilles because he's a great pilot. They are all Corellian So that's the thing. And I think Poe is even a Corellian as well. And then and they all have some scoundrel background, yes. But when it comes to the X-wing and stuff like that, like in their past, they were tied to scoundrels, tied to smuggling and all that. I think that Poe reflects Wedge more so than he does Han. So because Han never piloted an X-wing. Now Han piloted and flown in an X-wing squadron, then I would say yes. Morning, peeps. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Karen is a swear word now. Apparently, who cares? Oh, you mean that Karen? Yeah. What was I did not. I'm like Karen Travis. No, but yeah. How did that come about? How did this Karen swear word come about? I am totally lost on that. And yeah. So educate me on that because I have no clue. No clue. And okay, iconoclasm and non-physical icons. Yeah, going back into that. I learned about that in art from my art classes with the Roman Empire and all that. In Solo, he was smuggling coxium, which made no sense. Yeah, that's true. I feel like The Last Jedi came out like 5 years ago now. Ancient times. Ancient times. Yes. Yet lingers. It's like that bad smell that just lingers. I like Korea's perspective in Couture too. Not sure how canon it is in the EU. It's not canon. I think that she's loony. Wedge was a smuggler too. Yep. They would change Hound's story to where he smuggled kittens, most likely. Oh, I would get a kitten from him. But yeah, that's funny. I like that. All right. Let me go ahead and plug in my laptop because it looks like it wants to die soon. It gave me a warning. And I don't want to close out here. Dang Corellians, they always smuggle. They were great pilots. They have their shipyards there as well because we have the big old Corellian cruisers and stuff. And yeah, they were smugglers as well. I mean, they lived a life. They were prideful people, basically. And that's why Han had that swag about him. And you would see other Corellians. The only one that really didn't have that pridefulness, and it's stated in the lore, is Wedge. So, but yeah. Is that a Corellian thing? What? I missed that. Smuggling? Karen wants to see the manager. Is that what? Someone link me to that, all that information about the Karen deal on Twitter, please. Didn't Han fly ties? I don't recall him flying ties whatsoever. Oh, ties, yes, TIE fighters. He was supposed to be in the Navy. Yeah, he was in the Navy in the original lore. So, and he wanted to be a pilot. So that's what his goal was. Been a while since I read the Han Solo trilogy. Yes, pick it up. In fact, I'm next Tuesday. I am reviewing the first book of the Han Solo trilogy. So pick it up, you guys. The Audible is abridged, so it's going to have a lot of things out of it. But the plot point will still be there. Okay. I read the other trilogy. What other trilogy? Oh, the early trilogy of Han. Han was a failed TIE pilot in a deleted scene in Solo. That's pretty sad. Which is the worst, Solo or Last Jedi? They are both nasty. He was a BSer and not a good pilot in Solo. He even stole credits from Lando for the Kessel Run, and he cheated and stole the Falcon. Yeah, and that's the thing is that when you read the Han Solo trilogy, he doesn't cheat Lando. Lando thinks he cheats him, but he doesn't. What he does is he smuggles and gets stuff, and he thinks it's going to Lando as part of a barter and stuff. And Berea betrays him, which then and takes everything that they have. all the coins and all that they have that they smuggled or they got, and takes off with them and uses them for the Rebel Alliance. And so when Lando goes to get his items that they bartered for, it's gone. And so he sees Han as betraying him. And Han's like, I didn't do this, dude. I swear to God, you are my friend, kind of deal. So by the time we see him in Empire Strikes Back, and he's like, I don't know if I want to see him. And Lando's like, how dare you, kind of attitude. And then they hug and stuff and kind of make up. That's what that's from. That's what that's from. Better told in the trilogy. His last name was just made up by some pencil pusher. Yes. And in the Han Solo trilogy, the reason why Strike keeps Han, wants to keep Han, not only because he's a great pilot, because of his surname. His surname is prominent on Corellia. And when you see Strike, he's always trying to steal from the wealthy. So in a sense, Strike kind of, and I'm just doing assumption here, or just looking at the picture in a different way, maybe. But Han came into Strike's hand by 9 or 5 or something like that. And he never knew his last name. He just remembers that he was orphaned and on the streets. He didn't know what happened to his parents. Shrike knew all about his parents, and it's relevant because Dulana basically knows who Han is too and tells him, "You are a Solo." And so part of the story, what I'm getting at is that Shrike keeps Han because of his prominent surname, and that's his leverage as well. And so that's a little bit of spoilers right there. I won't go further. So when Disney gives him his name, bastardize his name, and it's not connected to anything and not even to his lineage or to the world he's from, that just put me off. That just put me off. Sent you a link on Twitter where I heard the Karen. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, mods. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see here. Is that a Corellian thing, being awesome pilot and scoundrels? Yeah, I guess that's the consensus. So I've still to finish the Han Solo trilogy. Been kind of busy. All right, well, like I said, I'm doing the lore on the Han Solo trilogy next. So this is pre A New Hope, and so I'm going back in the timeline, and I'll let you guys know exactly where that fits in the timeline as I start reviewing it and everything, and giving you more information. So if you don't know, it's before the OT, obviously, and it leads up into A New Hope, which is beautiful, beautiful, and I just love it. All right. And so we're doing that. So just continue reading and participate in the comments. And once I get the first lore review on the first book novel down, comment in my video and let me know what you think, and let's build a conversation. Oh, I need some with this. I do. Basically, a feminist claim that calling someone Karen is racist, sexist, and classist. We're going into class now? Really? And another claim, it's misogynist, ignoring the fact that most of the people calling women are women. What the hell? Oh my God. People are so friggin' bored right now on the social distancing that they are reaching for every little thing to be pissed about. This is hilarious. All right. Okay. Okay, I probably will age Ladun. Okay, OG, is a force ability in Star Wars that allows a force user to teleport somewhere like we see in Star Trek or in comic books? No. You could flow walk from the past to the present, but you cannot manipulate the timeline. And that's set later on in the lore. And then the Angting monks has that thing where you can transport objects in themselves, and that's their force society's way of using the force. but you don't see it used like with Jedi or anything like that. So maybe, but it's not necessarily used. So yeah. Hello, Fatal J. How are you doing? I'm coming to yours. Um, whoops. Hello. OG, which Jedi has your favorite lightsaber design? Movies or books? It doesn't matter. Oh, that's a good one. I like Jaina Solo's. I've always favored hers and also Luke's green lightsaber, but I love Jaina Solo's lightsaber. That's why when you see my avatars, it has me with her lightsaber. And you guys share what your favorite lightsaber is. Feminists are the Gamorreans of the world. Whoa, that's a rough stick. That is harsh. Twitter is a form of hell. Yes, it is. I use it for my platform, and I don't discuss much personal life in it because I know people are can be asses and use that against you and bring your family and friends into that. So I don't discuss my personal life there as much to protect. Crimson Dawn was a total ripoff of Black Sun, except that in Solo, Maul was in charge instead of Seizure. Yes, I noticed that as well. Um, I love Seizure and his organization. I loved when he was expanded some more in Shadows of the Empire. So I agree. Sorry if my English is not very good. It's my third language. That's okay. That's okay. I'm glad you're here with us and you're sharing your opinions and giving feedback, all that. Remember to hit that like button. Yes, you guys, hit the like button. Revan's lightsaber is the best. See, I went on the opposite spectrum of the history, but I've always favored Jaina Solo a lot. So, yeah. And I did share Leia's lightsaber from the EU, not Disney Star Wars, but from the original EU on my Twitter. And I was thinking, damn, I should have put hers with the legacy lightsabers, but I think now that I think about it, I can add it, but I'm not going to. Only because this is referring to a lot to Luke's hero's journey, like I've stated before, how the lightsabers, his father's and his one, helped him or shown his journey and were significant in his hero's journey. So that's what that legacy lightsabers is about. All right. I like Darth Sidious's lightsaber. What about Dooku's? Because he has the slanted, tilted hilt. If I wanted a feminist, I would just buy a cow. Equal amounts of meat and they make the same sound, and both are vegans, but cows are nice at least. Oh Lord, Stig, you are just on it. Luke Saber in Return of the Jedi is just Obi-Wan's from A New Hope with a few changes. And that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of Padawans, when they make their sabers, they will make one resembling their masters in honor of them. So not a lot, but there are those. EU Bang curved heel is my favorite. Nice. OG OG, if Anakin was the chosen one, why did he get his butt kicked a lot? Because he has flaws as well, and he's not a Mary or a Gary Stu. He still needs training and he still needs discipline. Just because you have the power doesn't mean that you're mature enough to use it. And I know you get it. I know. You just have to ask me that question to hear it from me, huh? And you missed it when I was talking about the Clone Wars, unless you were in here listening. But our Tartakovsky Clone Wars, not Filoni's Clone Wars, to be exact and precise. Chapter 1, the important quote that I wrote down when I was rewatching it is what Obi-Wan said to Anakin. He says, and Anakin's questioning about his abilities and blah, blah, blah. Obi-Wan tells him, skills were never in question. It's your maturity. So that's deep. Laugh out loud. I love Stig. Laugh out loud. Okay. And Obi-Wan's lightsaber from episode 3. Sweden is pretty much feminist. Every time we get eastern winds, it smells like. Oh, you're on a roll this morning or today. Anakin's lightsaber is just like Yoda's. I have to take a look at that. I haven't really seen Yoda's hilt, so I haven't. Anakin is arrogant and didn't listen a lot. Yeah, that's the maturity part. And that's what Obi-Wan was telling him. You're not just given rank based upon your abilities. You have to be mature, blah, blah, blah. And so that's what Anakin was lacking, was his maturity. I still see the Skywalker saber as Mara's lightsaber, not Rey's. Yeah, that was beautifully done. That was beautifully done. And that saber still stayed in the Skywalker family. And they always said, they didn't say Mara saber or they didn't say Luke saber. They said Anakin's or my father's or grandfather's saber. Yeah, I know. Just wanted to hear you take. It was great. I know you did. Thank you. I know you did. And that was interesting that you brought that up because it goes well with that quote that I wrote down from Tartakovsky's Clone Wars Chapter 1. So thank you. You are like tuned in, brother. You are tuned in. I totally respect that. Chosen One doesn't mean ultimate badass. It just means he was to destroy the Sith. Sadly, Disney thought destroy meant setting them back a few years. It meant that literally it was actually the same prop from the first film Mark Hamill only found out years later. I kind of like that. Oh, we're talking about the saber? Whoops. Where did I go? Okay. That's the classic story, even if the protagonist is the best, because talent, the skills have to be honed. My favorite lightsaber is Star Killer's. Nice. I actually brought a prop of Obi-Wan saber, the cosplay as Anakin Solo. I need to get the Jaina Solo's hilt lightsaber. I really need to get that one. I ordered a generic one that would have the purple blade. They sent me a blue, and I never resolved the issue, so I have a blue blade saber, generic saber. Being the strongest isn't doing you any favors if you wield your powers like a drunk elephant in a china shop. Exactly. That's a great example of that. Okay, Anakin loses lightsaber. Anakin says Obi-Wan's going to kill me. Anakin's or Starkiller's lightsaber is sweet. It is. That was a nice choice. What's so feminist about soy? Milk comes from cow's udders and is 100% feminine made. Soy is from beans, which are asexual. Let's debate about that, everybody. That'd be interesting. That'd be. All right. OG, my favorite female voice user is Ventress. Oh God, and she's in this chapter 1 of Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. She is discovered by Dooku and basically has her first mission to try to kill Anakin, which isn't very favorable. But yes, she is an amazing character, and she's given her red blades by Dooku. Amazing. Okay. Because feminists are soy boys, Grobnom. I'd say soy was more masculine than dairy products. Beans are masculine. Coffee. Mm, no, I don't know. I'll just put a native twist on this, perspective twist on this. So when we have Father Sky, Mother Earth. So when plants seed into the ground, Father Earth rains down for it to grow. So you've kind of put two and two together. So the rain is what? And the seed is what? That's how I see that. Sperm and egg. There you go. Okay, prop maker knew what they were doing in the prequels and origins as they did. As did the costume designer and the stunt coordinators, lightsaber choreographers. I swear I can read today. I swear, I promise. Okay, it's almost 11, so we're gonna start. Hello again. I don't know what happened. I think I must have. I don't know. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Milk is for babies, literally. It's how mammals feed their young. So yeah, we're not debating that. That's not in a debate whatsoever. Ventress lightsaber is sweet. How she can make it into a double bladed lightsaber. Soy is dense in phytoestrogens. There we go. I say pathogens. Okay, Oji, who would win between Palpatine and versus Dooku? Hmm. I believe Palpatine is much more stronger than Dooku. However, Dooku is basically when you look into the lore, he is very skilled in fencing and in like basically the fencing stance, lightsaber, um, and lightsaber duels and stuff. And yeah, I swear I can make sense today. I promise. I promise. But yeah, he's more experienced with dueling and lightsaber techniques and stuff. So I think he would win if it's mainly that. So I don't know. That's a hard one. That would be something to post on Twitter, right? In the Disney movies, the lightsabers has no bite. It seems like they censor the movie's violence wise. By comparison, Revenge of the Sith is brutal. And you know the thing is that when I was reviewing episode 1 of Tartakovsky's or chapter 1 of Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, and they are in the rain, you could see the lightsabers sizzle when the rain hits the blades. Now, Kit Fisto, his lightsaber is specially made because he is a basically a species that is that lives in the sea. And so his is totally different. But when you see normal sabers that are not specialized, like Kit Fisto's, you could once when the rain hits down on it, you can see the sizzle. So I thought that was very interesting. So thank you for bringing that up. Very interesting. Okay, where did I leave off at? And I don't know. Okay, who would win between? Okay, yeah, there we go. And now we're talking about soybeans. Favorite female force user is Mara Jade. She used the force to walk on air to break into place. Venture story is far superior in Legends than the canon timelines. Yes. And her story is amazing in Tartakovsky's Clone Wars. Yes, get my shit together. I will. Hey, I have to make you guys laugh, It's just how I am. If you ever seen Blazing Saddles, you'll know that beans are for men. Blazing Saddles like a Western comedy. Okay. So Stig, Dark Horses are the only Star Wars comics I love. I need to find those Ventress books. I love her and Doku. Okay, Stig can help you with that. He's been helping me a lot with comics. Kylo Ren is such a wuss. I have no idea why he's supposedly surpassed Vader. They they could, like, when you see him in Force Awakens in the beginning scenes where he freezes the blaster bolt beam and everything, and he comes out such a badass. After that, they start regressing him. They could have done so much with his character, even up to the last parts of Rise of Skywalker. They could have done so much to make him live up to his Skywalker lineage, but they don't. So that was sad. I think that was sad, and maybe they did that because he is a Skywalker. Who knows? The Ventress books follow Disney canon. They make absolutely no sense. Soy does not lower your testosterone. Yeah, it does. There's even for women, they tell us not to consume too much soy products because it can higher our our hormones, and so that goes into that factor. All right. Let's get through these here. I wouldn't mind having Force imbued blade from the Jedi. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go quickly on to Kenobi, and then we're gonna close down the stream here. We're gonna end the stream and in a good note. So my last lore review was of Kenobi, and I did that because of the fact that I did the Life and Legends of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was a very good read. I suggest that to you guys. Pick up that scholastic novel. It has a lot of great continuity and also shares how Luke learned how to build a new lightsaber and what Obi-Wan left for him. So I reviewed the Kenobi book, even though in a couple weeks we are going to do the book club review on Kenobi as well. I tried not to spoil hardly anything, but just to talk about the plot and some of the characters within the story. So go ahead and check that out. And so I'm not going to spoil too much with Kenobi here, other than pick up the book, begin read it. I always say, if you don't have time, pick up the Audible. And the Audible basically is unabridged. So you basically have the whole entire book read to you. And so I suggest pick that up. You learn about the Tusken Raiders culture. Sharad Het is mentioned in there, and so you know about what happened with that. You get, the Obi-Wan struggling with what had happened between him and Anakin. You get that he's still training and trying to talk to Qui-Gon. You see how it's difficult for him to stop being a Jedi. All of that. Very amazing. It's such a great book. And he does resolve some issues in that story as a Jedi. And he does get discovered that he is a Jedi. And so I would pick up that book to learn more about that and how that's played out. And I highly recommend it as well. So a great, great book. Let's see here. Kylo didn't even need a mask. No damage to the face, was just a vanity mask. Yes, it was. Stover wrote Shadowpoint, Traitor, Revenge of the Sith novel, and Shadows of Mindor. Yes. I will finish reading Shadowpoint and review that soon as well. So the next review books are going to be the Han Solo trilogy. So stay tuned for that. And then those who following the Readers Club, Kenobi is the book that's going to be reviewed. And I don't have information on which channel it's going to be on. If it's going to be on Ryan's, if it's going to be on Evan's, or if it's going to be on Lethal's, I have no idea. So I wish I can give that to you guys, but I don't have that information right now. What kind of man asks for a glass of milk in a bar? Hey, give me a cool glass of what that babies drink. People ask for milk. People ask for water. People ask for, sodas. I've asked for milk inside a bar before. Maul Race is not from Dathomir either in the EU. I know. He's Iridonian. Even in the Life and Legends of Obi-Wan Kenobi, it refers to that as well. The Life and Legend of Obi-Wan Kenobi is pre-Filoni Clone Wars. So it talks about the Clone Wars, but it's more Tartakovsky's. Maul is an Iridonian Zabrak in the old EU, same as Bo Dur and from KOTOR 2. Yes. You believe what people paid by farmers to produce their dairy business say milk is full of artificial drugs given to the cows. That's not in question. Kylo Ren makes masks could have represented mysteriousness and dominance in his character. Dominance in his character. When he took off the mask, it made him weak. Yes, it took away that excitement of him being a bad guy, him being a baddie, basically. Not batty, like insane, but I guess you can apply that too, maybe. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Hello, OG Star Wars. Hi, Matt G. We're getting ready to end the stream here pretty soon. Sorry that you're barely coming in right now. We just were talking about Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, a little bit about Kylo Ren as a bad guy. and also a little bit about Kenobi, picking up that novel. And then also next review is going to begin with the Han Solo trilogy for my channel. So if you want to follow along, I suggest you pick up book 1 of the Han Solo trilogy or download the Audible. The Audible is abridged, so it's not going to have the entire story. So that was Raven's. It looked a lot like his, right? What kind of drugs are those cows given? Morphine? Cocaine, perhaps? Oh, you guys are cracking me up with this debate now going on my stream about soy and cow milk. Can you review Jedi Trial? I will eventually get there, darling. Yes. Fellini Baloney. Oh my gosh, Stig. Oh my gosh, I was like late for something. You want me to read it in that? Oh my gosh, I was like late for something as if. Laugh out loud, OG Star Wars. My voice is kind of weird right now. So I don't know if I qualified for that. I would never made a good Valley Girl voice, even though I live in California, unless I'm really, really making fun of someone. OG, thank you for getting a. OG, you think we get in a Revan movie? No. I believe they used Revan only in namesake for the Sith Armada that Palpatine made. So I doubt it. But if they do, I feel kind of. I don't think it's going to be the Revan that we know and love. So Disney even had an abandoned idea of him actually wearing Vader's mask and helmet. I guess it is good they did not do that. The fans would have gone ballistic if Kylo did that. Maybe. I mean, if the story was developed really well, you never know, but we won't know now. I hope not. Fatal J, they will make it ravenous. Ravenous. Yeah. All right. So you guys, I have to go now. Thank you guys so much. I will link the Tartakovsky Clone Wars episodes in my description below. I will also put information about what novel I'm starting next, which is Han Solo trilogy, not G's. There's only one trilogy with the Han Solo. And then also too that if you are following along the story groups, Readers Book Club, then I would suggest you start reading Kenobi as well. You don't necessarily have to follow me with Han Solo. You can watch my review and ask me questions about it in coffee chat, because that's how I'm trying to design this, is that whatever I'm reviewing in the lore, whether it be character, whether it be a spaceship, a world, a novel, whatever, then we can discuss it here, which I hope will encourage you to pick up that book later on or learn more about the history. All right, so I'm going to go through these last ones here. Revan was supposed to show up in the Clone Wars as a Force spirit, but Filoni felt the Sith shouldn't be ghosts, so he scrapped it. Basically, he went against George again. Great stream, Alora. Thank you so much. Disney Revan would suck. I agree. Nothing they did is original, though. Kylo wearing the mask comes out of Kasdan's idea of Luke becoming Vader. And that was scrapped. And that's what I was going to say, but then I didn't want to approach it, is that there was an idea for Luke putting on the helmet at the end of Return of the Jedi, and it never fruitioned. So basically, it's not authentic. If it never happened in the movie and it was taken on the script or the story treatment and stuff, then it didn't really happen. So that's why I didn't approach it. But again, they probably wanted to do a nod to that, which they've been doing a lot of nods to stuff like that lately. All right. Great coffee chat, OG Stars later. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, I am going to end it here. may you guys have a great Thursday, the rest of your day here. I will see you on Twitter and maybe in other live streams. I may go and chat in them. I always like to support other channels that have supported me as well. So thank you guys for coming in. Again, Laura will be about Han Solo trilogy. Pick up the Obi-Wan novel. Follow with the Readers Club. Based this round is Kenobi, and I shall see you guys later. May the force be with you.